Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I had to go inside to do this next video because the wind has been blowing gale force winds for the last few days and you can't hear anything on the camera. As you've probably seen in some of the previous videos, I had to do some voiceovers and just silent stuff. We're going to be doing some concrete painting of these planters. I have two of these. I'm going to do this one and the next one. I'm going to put a link up top right now that you can click on. That is how I paint concrete statues of different varieties. This one's going to be looking like stone, so we're just going to make it look gray instead of this whiter concrete color. And the way you do that is we're going to take exterior latex paint, exterior paint, flat, and we're going to have it black. We're going to do a base coat of black and then the gray over that with a dry brush technique. Now this paint is pretty old. It's been shook up a little bit, watered down quite a bit. So I'm just going to very quickly make a smattering of this. Oh, I forgot. I haven't actually wet this. You want to wet the concrete really good. So I'm going to do that over here in the sink right now. So let's pause for a moment. Oh wait, I meant pause the video. Voila! By the magic of video editing, I just put this in the sink and sprayed it with water from the sink. My sink comes apart so you can move it around like that. Now it's wet, now it's ready to paint. So all we're gonna do is glob it on here. Don't worry about being neat, just like this, real fast. It's really watered down, so it's gonna go on pretty fast. Just soak it up. Get these old cheap paint brushes from Lowe's or Home Depot. It costs like 50 cents a piece or something, or $1. This does not have to be perfect because you're going to be painting over this. It's just a base coat. You don't have to do black. If you're going to do a lighter color on top of the black, you could do a lighter gray. You could do white if it's your color scheme. If you want white coming through, I want it to be dark coming through the gray when I paint gray on it so that it has some texture to it. Faster way to do this, by the way, is people have mentioned it on my channel in the comments, and I appreciate it, is to, you can spray them if you get a cheap Harbor Freight sprayer and water it down real good and just spray. So you can just spray this if you have it outside, and that helps. And also, you can dunk it in a bucket full of watered down black paint. Although most of my stuff is so heavy that I don't want to have to try to lift it or sit it in something. I don't want to have to move it unless I absolutely have to, because most of my pieces are way bigger than this one. We're going to be painting quite a few videos over the upcoming few weeks as we kind of start the painting again. I'm going to paint simple stuff like this first, and then I'm going to get on to some of the more artistic-y stuff that I like to try to do. Some of my fairies that you may have seen in some previous videos in the garden that we painted. We have a Pegasus that we're going to try to paint eventually. Stuff like that. I'm going to paint the inside some. I'm not going to get all of it because no one's ever going to see it because it's going to have flowers in it. So I'm going to go down a little ways on the inside. If you're using new paint brushes, you're gonna get these little bristles everywhere. That was dumb. Just did that to my finger. If you get the bristles and you see them, just pop them off. You might want to wear gloves when you do this so you don't get paint all over your hands. But this exterior latex stuff comes off pretty easy too. But yeah, if you have a lot of stuff that you're gonna do, you could get a bucket of paint and just dip the smaller stuff in it, one after the other. Save you quite a bit of time. We can save time too. By the magic of video editing, we can make this speed up in just a moment and play some cool little folk music around with it too. So you'll be tapping your feet while you listen to some cool music. number 1 is drying. Number 2, I just soaked it in the sink, sprayed it down really good, got it nice and wet. And now, let's paint it the same way in amazing fast motion. I try to be a little systematic so I don't miss as many spots when I'm doing this. So one section at a time. Just smush the brush in there. You want this brush to be basically ruined by the time you're done, and then when you use it again, you ruin it again. Get shorter and shorter as you do it. It helps too to have a nice bright light no matter where you're doing this. It helps you to see stuff you may miss if you're doing this kind of in a little bit darker environment. A lot of times if I shine my flashlight or my phone on there, I'll see all kind of stuff I missed, but this light is good. All right, we take half a second to let all this dry because of the magic of video editing, and then we'll come back and do the dry brush technique with this one and make them look great. See you real soon, like right now. All right, this thing's pretty much dry. That one's still drying because we're inside, so it's taking a little longer, but I'm gonna go ahead and start doing this dry brush technique. We're using for this, I use Valspar, does not matter. Flat exterior latex paint. This is gray. You're gonna get just a little bit on your brush. Now I want this pretty gray looking, so I'll add more, but always start with less just so you don't overdo it. That's probably more than you want if you're doing this for the first time. Just barely put it in there and rub it all off, completely off on this cardboard. Now, you should keep going if you're doing this really lightly, but I know I want pretty decent amount, so I'll show you what this looks like. And you rub it all off like that. It looks like there's almost nothing else gonna be on the brush. Watch what happens. Dry brush, just brush it, dusting. Look at that, like 10 seconds. Boom. Boom! Look at all the detail that comes out. Now I'm gonna do a little bit more than that, but not too much, a little bit. So you get the wet part here, rub it in again, then rub it off. Rub it off, rub it off down there. Rub that off, all right? Now watch. Dusting, just dusting, just dusting. Boom, 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 look at it. I look like a professional. I'm just dusting. A little bit. Get on, a little more. Boom, look at how good that looks. And I'm rubbing in there. It's gonna mess this brush up. That's what you want. Get it in the little crevices a little bit. Look at that, boom. Little wet spot again, boom. Rub it down. Woo, doggy. Look at that. Get on that edge. And voila, it looks great. Now I'm gonna put a little more on here and kind of get in between there, just kind of rub it in. But I'm about done with this part. It's about dried up. But look at how the detail comes out. Isn't that amazing? You can do this so quickly if you're just doing a light coating to add in, to make it look like stone or whatever. If you're gonna do all one color, it only takes 10 minutes probably. We could finish this whole thing. All right, let's check it out. Now, look at how much more detail comes out. All right, because I wanted a little more. I want to look a little more stonish without the black showing quite as much through. Just a little bit, just a little. If you do it too much, you can always go over it again. Look at this. Look at that. So I'm gonna find it. I like that right there. So I'm gonna put a little more on here, wipe it off, start it down here, come up until it's about the same texture. And as I said, you just experiment adding a little more at a time until you get it to where you want it. Look at that right there. Boom, boom. Still want a little more on the inside, on that little indentation. Look at that. There you go. See that? You're just smushing it in there. A little bit more. Smush it in there. I just want a little bit more in there. All right, and now we just want to match this to all the other sides. So just kind of even it out. And you can get as specific or as easy as you want on this. I think that right there is a nice look. I'm pretty happy with that. So let's do that everywhere. A little bit more on the end that was left. Turn it a little so you can see. All right, here we go. Oh, that's almost dried out. Doesn't take long. A little more. Wipe it all off. Remember, less is more at the beginning. So that's pretty much what you do. Rub it off, rub it back on. Just dust it all in and go back over it as you want to fill in a little more paint, depending on the look you're going for. If you completely screw this up, paint the whole thing black again and start over. That's all you gotta do. Going through the inside one more time there, like that, kind of each little part. Making sure that black's not just all by itself showing through too much. Like it. Well, that looks like stone. Now we're gonna do the magic video of speeding it up so you can kind of see this whole thing. Look at that. That is amazing. Now it looks like stone instead of concrete. Look like that with the black. We're gonna paint the inside same way. But that is amazing. And now we're gonna do this one the exact same way.
point something out here. As I got going, I really did this one a little more stone than that one. As you can see, the difference in color slightly. So what I'll probably do is just take a minute, go over that a little bit more on the tops and on this area here, and just make it slightly more light, a little lighter. But overall, I love it. All right, just took about 3 extra minutes, and went around and touched that one up, make it a little bit brighter of the gray. So now they are pretty close to matching. Doesn't matter if they're exact, they're gonna be filled with flowers that are gonna be hanging over them, but now they look like stone. Remember what they looked like ahead of time, concrete. That's how you do it, folks. Very simple. If you mess up, just start over, paint it black, do it all again. You can experiment. Like I said, start light like I did with that one while I was explaining it. Then you can do this one and say, oh, that looks better. So I'll go back and dust over that one a little bit. All right, if y'all like the video, subscribe, like, share it with your friends. We'll see you real soon as we put flowers in these and do some awesome Super Tunias and other things. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.